This has been a CBS 11 News First Alert Weather Day update.
Good morning, I'm Brooke Katz, and it is a first alert weather day because of that winter storm warning, and we've already seen some issues on the roads for you this morning. Want to give you an overview right now. You can see most of our problems remain over in the Tarrant County side, Tarrant County, Parker counties right now. Looking pretty good over around Dallas County. That is some good news. Want to give you a live look outside. You can see a tow truck actually on the scene now at 35W at State Highway 114 over around the Alliance Airport area. That is because of an earlier crash. You can still see blocking the shoulder, but the main lanes have cleared up. That is the good news. But this is the area we're talking about, just to the south of Texas Motor Speedway. We are seeing some delays through there, though, so just a heads up. Still have a pretty big issue as well on 35 East southbound at Highland Village Drive, Highland Village Road, that's causing some delays around the Lake Dallas area. And then several delays still in Fort Worth. I-30 westbound at Camp Bowie Boulevard. Reports of a crash still there. They've been working to get that cleared up and the road reopened there. So that should be looking, it definitely looks better than it did probably about 20-30 minutes ago. I-20 eastbound, that crash is still there at Granbury Road. You can see we have some pretty hefty delays going through that area as well. And I want to give you, again, a wider look. The good news is we're really starting to see things look much better out of Parker County coming into Tarrant County. That's where we saw a really big mess earlier on this morning, just maybe 45 minutes to an hour ago. I want to give you a look at some of the drive times right now. 30 eastbound is in the clear, except for where you get to Loop 820 to 35W. That's a little slow going, about 20 minutes, but 20 eastbound from Weatherford to Loop 820, that was up to about 40 minutes at one point. It's now back down to about a 21-minute drive. And then taking a look at your drive times, if you're headed northbound, no delays for you right now on 35W, 35E, 75 southbound. All of those are looking pretty good right now. But again, we're having a little lull right now, Brittany, but we can expect things to change as we go through the day.
That's exactly right. We're going to start to see some more of that precipitation developing patchy in nature as we get towards midday today. And then as we head into the evening hours, we're going to see more steady precipitation moving in from the southwest just in time for the evening drive. We are expecting that precipitation to start off very light in nature. As it continues to fall, it evaporates and it cools that column of air, and then it saturates it, and that's why as we head into Tuesday morning with the next wave starting off Tuesday, we're expecting heavier and steadier precipitation, and that's really going to create problems out there on the roadways. So first alert weather days today, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Today, expect those slick spots on mainly bridges and overpasses. As we get into the evening drive, we might start to see some slick spots on those untreated surface roads, but it's Tuesday that we're really expecting that dangerous travel. If you can get off the roads and stay off them starting tonight, that would be the best case. If you have to wait until Tuesday to stay off Tuesday morning through Wednesday morning, that would be great as well. As we head into Wednesday, we're expecting temperatures to warm above that freezing mark. So if that does occur, it's not guaranteed. There's a potential we'll stay around freezing. But if we do get back into the mid to upper 30s, we'll see that precipitation transitioning over into the form of rain, and that will help to clear out some of that ice accumulating on the ground. But we have a winter storm warning that runs through Wednesday morning. This was a winter storm watch last night. Winter storm warning is a step up from that. It was supposed to start at noon today, but because we saw the freezing drizzle and freezing mist this morning, that really caused those issues into Tarrant and Parker counties. National Weather Service started the winter storm warning around 6 a.m. this morning, and it's going to be with us until 6 a.m. on Wednesday morning. Because our temperatures are going to stay right around that freezing mark, we're looking at icing concerns, frozen precipitation, freezing rain, and sleet are going to be our main two forms of precipitation over the next couple of days. Now, as I mentioned, Wednesday, if we do get up to about mid-30s in the afternoon hours, we'll start to see that transitioning over to some rain. But on radar, we are starting to see more returns out to the west. The purples typically indicate sleet, so we still could have a little bit of freezing rain in there as well out towards Breckenridge and Graham. Right around the Metroplex, things are a bit quieter, might be still seeing a little bit of that freezing drizzle around Fort Worth and then for areas south. But as we take a look out to the west around Seymour, only just to the west of South Bend, that's where we're potentially looking at some of that sleet starting to come down. And then the pinks, Typically, we see freezing rain. That's what we're picking up on radar. That's a little bit further to the south around May, and that's going to continue to try and work its way up towards the northeast around Comanche and then Gorman around Eastland on I-20. Be very careful on those bridges and overpasses because just a little bit of that freezing rain, sleet, or freezing drizzle is going to cause you issues on the bridges and overpasses. Down to our southeast areas where temperatures are a bit warmer right now, we're still seeing rain around Madisonville. Centerville kind of right on that borderline between freezing and just above. That's why we have some rain, even a little bit of freezing rain mixing in. And then over to the west around Killeen, we're also looking at the potential for some freezing drizzle there as well. On Futurecast, you're going to notice our temperatures holding fairly steady, especially west of this purple freezing line. We're going to be at 32 degrees or cooler. It's east of the freezing line that we'll see those temperatures going up and down a little bit more, and that's where we're going to see the focus of any rain. So here's midday on Futurecast. Notice we're starting to see more of the pink, indicating freezing rain and sleet popping up, but it's still spotty in nature. It's a little bit later into the afternoon and evening hours that we start to see it filling in a bit more, and then we start to get those darker pinks indicating that steadier, heavier precipitation. And then after that, late evening, we're getting a little bit of a lull. Still some rain holding on around Mineola, Athens, into Tyler, but into the Metroplex, we're getting a little bit of a relief before our next wave moves up from the southwest as we start off Tuesday morning. This is going to be more widespread. This is going to be steadier, and this is where we're still going to have that mix of sleet and freezing rain throughout the day. But we could see some snow mixing in out for our western counties where those temperatures are dropping off a bit more. Getting that column of air colder all the way from the upper levels down to the ground, we still could see some snowflakes holding on. But notice around the Metroplex, we're mainly staying in the pink. Could get a few flakes around Denton County heading into Tuesday evening, but that's not the end of it. We still have yet another wave to get through Wednesday morning that will continue to accumulate more ice in the area, and we are looking at about 1/4 of an inch up to 1/2 an inch of ice by the time this system clears out with those highest totals into our northwest areas. So you might be wondering why these forms of precipitation, why freezing rain, why are we looking at sleet? Well, when that precipitation starts up at the clouds, we have that cold air, so it is frozen. It's in the form of snow. But then in the mid-levels of our atmosphere, we have warm air, so it melts, becomes rain. But then when we have this very shallow wedge of cold air right at the surface, it freezes once it reaches the surface on contact. So that's your freezing rain. Sleet is a little bit different. We have that column of cold air extending a little bit further up into the atmosphere, so it's allowing those droplets to refreeze into ice before they reach the ground. Either way, you're still going to see travel impacts out there on the roadways, and it's still going to be slick in spots, but at least with sleet, you see it moving around a little bit more on the ground as opposed to the freezing rain. You just see that ice continuing to accumulate and getting thicker out there. Our road temperatures are something that we're very closely monitoring. Once we hit that 28-degree mark and below, that's where we start to see that freezing, and that's when we start to see accumulations out there. So notice we're back up to about 32 degrees in Fort Worth and Dallas, mid-20s out towards Graham and Bowie, and then further east we're in the mid-30s. So a little bit later today, and then especially by Tuesday, we're likely going to see those road temperatures dropping to 28 or cooler, and that's when we're going to see that ice accumulating. And the more it accumulates, the colder the ground gets, and then it sticks even more. So it's kind of a reinforcing cycle. But Tuesday and Wednesday, this is when we have high confidence for moderate travel impacts throughout all of North Texas. Even though surface road conditions are likely going to deteriorate, and we could see some impacts on tree limbs, and we could even get some power lines damaged as well. So we have a little bit of fog out to the east around Paris, Sulphur Springs, Mineola, Tyler. We're seeing visibility around 1 mile to 2 miles. This is one of our weather cameras. You can see it's completely iced over. This is high up there, but Dallas and Fort Worth, we're sitting at 28 degrees. We're feeling like 17 degrees because of some very breezy northwesterly winds. So 26 degrees in Fort Worth right now, 21 in Graham and Bowie, and 23 in Mineral Wells. Check out these winds, 10 to 20 miles an hour. So that's making our wind chills drop into the teens, even single digits around Mineral Wells, Graham, and Bowie. So it is a bitterly cold day. If you can stay inside and stay warm, that would be the best, because temperatures are only going to warm up to about 32 degrees this afternoon. We'll continue to see wind chills in the lower 20s later today. And then tomorrow, it's very similar. Highs staying around 30 to 31 degrees, but those winds stay strong, and that's keeping our wind chills in the lower 20s. Thursday, another round of precipitation, but look at the temperature on Thursday afternoon. Upper 40s. Even in the morning, we're likely going to start off in the mid 30s. So when we see that round of precipitation, it will fall as liquid, as rain. And then from there, we're finally shifting out of this pattern. The trough that's bringing all these disturbances through the area is moving out. We have sunshine returning to the region, and we're back into the upper 50s. So if you want to get out your phone, you can scan that QR code there, and we'll continue to keep you updated, not only today, but Tuesday and into Wednesday. We still have those first alert weather days, so we'll bring you live streaming updates here on CBS News DFW. And if you have any pictures that you can safely take, if you're seeing any icing on your windshields, on the sidewalks, on any of those trees, please send those in. You can tweet at us and use the hashtag FirstAlertDFW. That'll help us find those pictures. We like to get that ground truth to see what's going on across the area, especially when we have these borderline precipitation types. It's very hard to tell if it's freezing rain or sleet on radar. So please send those in to us, and we'll see you back here in about half an hour.
This has been a CBS 11 News First Alert Weather Day Update.